In the summer of 2011, I rode to my home country Austria for the summer, which was a bit of a practice run for our next big trip. The little towns are especially nice as the people like to keep everything nice and traditional, and that's how you get to know the real Austria. My trip to Austria was a good test run for our next journey and also gave us some filming practice for what we may see in Spain and Morocco. And as in many countries, religion plays a very important part in the lives of people who live on the countryside. Small place, doesn't seem to have many visitors, but they definitely put a lot of effort into it. Environmental protection and living in harmony with nature is very important in Austria, which has helped keep the landscape in pristine condition. It's time to venture out into the countryside and see whether it lives up to the hype of the Sound of Music film. Let us for a moment enjoy the real sound of the Austrian countryside. So there you have it, the real sound of the hills that are alive with music, and manners also seem to be going down the drain. A definite advantage of Salzburg is that it is so close to Germany, and we are off to first check out the town of Verlassing just across the border. This border town is a cheap alternative shopping city for Salzburg residents, and also has thermal spas and a magnificent countryside for motorcycling. But the best thing about Verlassing is the Abstoffer Lake, which is close by. The Abstoffer Lake is a moor lake which does absolute wonders for your hair and skin and is generally much warmer than the lakes back in Austria. Good to have something like this just across the border. We're off deeper into Bavaria and our first stop is the Königssee Lake near Berchtesgaden. It is Germany's third deepest and cleanest lake. Only electrical boats are allowed on it. It also attracts many tourists who come to buy all sorts of souvenirs, the traditional and the noisy. And of course I also got the compulsory souvenir postcard. Oh yes, the authentic collection of local rocks with all sorts of healing powers included in the price. A lot of people travel the Rossfeldstrasse because of the fantastic scenery, but the side roads are also quite good. Most of Austria and the neighbouring Berchtesgaden area is very peaceful and tranquil, but the problem is that nothing much really happens here. So you really have to make most of your entertainment yourself if you are coming from the exciting, bustling lifestyle in London. And although the mountains around Salzburg are very impressive, everybody needs a change from time to time. And that's why we've come here to Berchtesgaden, where we see different mountains and different scenery all together. Heading back into Austria, let's take the time to check out some lakes, like the Fuschelsee, which is also very good for swimming. Austria can get very hot in the summers, almost 40 degrees in some places, and the many lakes offer good refreshment from the scorching summer heat. And Austria is also a country where you can be astonished by the beauty of the Alps. And of course, where there are mountains, there are also very deep valleys and gorges, so deep that you actually cannot see down to the bottom. No chance. And now that we're here at the waterworks, we can finally see the bottom of the gorge that we couldn't see from the top of the mountain. The big problem with living in Western Austria is the high amount of precipitation, which annually can reach more than 1,500 millimeters, more than twice as much as in London. Rain, rain, rain. Is this miserable enough for you? So what's the riding like in Austria? On the whole, pretty good. Lots of scenic roads, especially in the mountains. But in some places, there's lots of gravel on the road. And if you're not prepared for it, when your front wheel goes over it, you end up losing the front wheel. It's time to head back to the UK, as my summer stay here is coming to an end. We saw castles, churches, lakes, mountains and animals, which makes Salzburg a very worthwhile place to visit, if you can put up with the rain, that is. Arrived in Metz late at night, but some things like churches look better in the dark anyway. Metz is the capital of the Lorraine region, with a rich 3,000-year history. Dating back to the Roman times, it has enjoyed a strong influence by German culture and is also nicknamed the Green City due to its open ground and pedestrian areas. It is also a town where old cuisines meet the new, and I enjoy the biggest kebab known to mankind. The next morning is accompanied by the rude awakening of yet another boring continental breakfast. Going on a longer trip can give you some ideas for that really long trip, and one way to ensure that you've got a really nice fresh smelling helmet for the next day is to put an air freshener inside. Heading back to the UK on the Eurotunnel, it is time to reflect on the experiences gained and things to look out for, such as how much mileage can be covered each day, and sights and sounds to look out for, both at our destination and along the way. I'm back in the UK. I'm meeting up with my friends Les and Jamal to see what modifications he has made to his bike for a long journey.
I ran out of petrol! Don't worry, I have spare in the box.
Even a toilet roll!
Yeah,
my gosh, you're prepared for everything.
Yeah. Need a pro, yeah.
With soundproofing, my gosh.
These things?
Yeah.
For the sound on the outside. Just make it like...
So there you have it, another insight into how we prepare for our next charity ride to reduce problems along the way and get filming and long distance riding practice.